Mango watched as her boyfriend walked back to their booth from the bathroom located at the back of the restaurant. A simple burger joint in California is where they were eating their lunch. He sat back down, across the table from her and her half-eaten giant burger. "Are you as excited as I am to hike through the sequoias?" Alex, her boyfriend, asked. "As long as I can get some beautiful pictures of my boyfriend," she cooed to him. He looked away and blushed slightly. Mango whipped her camera out of her bag and pointed at him. "I mean, who goes to the sequoias and doesn't take pictures?" Alex allowed a serious look to come onto his face, masking his excitement. "We should be careful, in case we were to run into any horror movie monsters." The serious look had washed away and his silly look came back through. Mango pressed herself into the booth and sighed. Even the beauty of nature could hide horrors, real horrors, within the shadows which the sunlight claws through. You know, Natoma told me that there is a woman who lives within the national park. She has wild white hair and tangled deer antlers." He cut Mango off by placing a long finger to her lips. "Natoma buys into those stupid Native American urban legends, and I believe you are too. Yes, there are people who live in the wild for God knows why, and they may wear dead things on their heads," said Alex. Mango gave him a pouty child look. "If I remember correctly, doesn't Natoma wear animal pelts from dead animals on her head?" Mango sighed but figured she would continue. "Since it seems that all men are offy, as her tribe says, they go off on their own to see her standing naked in the river," she said, venom on the word offy. In the Choctaw language, offy meant dog. "Who, this woman or Natoma?" asked Alex. He looked up to see Mango giving him a look that made him cross his legs. Not that I would ever want to see Natoma naked. I just want to make sure I'm getting this campfire tale right." She looked away hurt. She wanted to be a paranormal monster hunter. She wanted to find some long Native American word which she could not pronounce, but she liked to call her I.O. She seduces the men and stretches his mouth until his jaw rips off, and for the rest of his life he is in an eternal scream, said Mango. "It's said that you can hear her previous victim's screams at night." "I don't think I want you hanging out with Natoma anymore," said Alex, who only blinked at her. They got up, left the money for the bill and tip, and drove to the Sequoia Mountains. They were in what Mango called Natoma turf, woodsy, cold, snowy. A little coffee shop and motel turned into a lounge were the only things found in the town right before the climb up the mountain. It was at that very lounge that the man that Natoma had a crush on worked, the Tomahawk. Alex and Mango began their climb up the mountain. They passed waterfalls, deers, creeks. They crossed bridges. They passed a sign which read Gorge Canyon National Park. They parked at an overlook, miles above the town life below. "Mango, are you sure we can park here?" asked Alex. "There is a sign that says no parking." "Natoma said this is parking for Indians only. This part of the park that is completely unmapped is for Indian use only," said Mango, running to the overlook and snapping a photo. "She said we could park here." "Neither of us are Indians," said Alex, putting his big blue coat on, making sure the jewel was still in his pocket. Mango seemed so happy to be here, surrounded by nature. "Hey, turn around!" She turned to look at him. Her light orange hair caught the sun and shimmered. Her black coat with neon faux fur trim gave off a sense of warmth. He snapped a picture and locked the car. Mango caught sight of his cell phone laying on the car's seat. She quickly touched his arm. "What if we get lost?" You think there's reception out here?" asked Alex. "Plus, Indians never get lost." "Because they know how to track," said Mango, catching up to him. "I think we should at least stay on the trails. That way we can't get lost." "Someone apparently hasn't watched too many horror movies," said Alex, following a bend to the start of the trail. "People get lost on trails all the time, and some psycho in a hockey mask always chops them up." "This isn't a horror movie, Alex." huffed Mango. All around them, they saw the ground had been dusted with snow. Mango got a twinkle in her eye and balled some snow up. Alex? Alex turned to his girlfriend, but instead was face to face with the icy teeth of a snowball. For a few moments, the couple kept pelting each other with snowballs, laughing, yelling, just having fun. "Wait, shh!" "Hear that?" said Alex. There was the sound of rushing water. A waterfall! How perfect! The perfect place to pop the question to his girlfriend. "Do you think the trail leads to the waterfall?" asked Mango. Alex shook his head. The lush Amimi trail seemed to go the other way from the waterfall. Was his idea already being crushed? There a few feet away was another trail, gated off. It was called Hashalaumibi Trail. He walked over to the trail. It sounded like it did. "This one will." "Natoma said this trail belongs to the I.O. and it brings you onto her turf," cried Mango. She did want to find the I.O., but she knew the monster woman would kill Alex. Still, they climbed over the gate and went down the trail. They were never out of the fall's range. They could hear it like it was on the other side of a tree. But little did they know the mountain was playing an acoustic trick on them. The sound was rebounding off the hard rock walls, echoing all around the mountain. The waterfall sounded so close, and they kept walking towards the sound, but they never caught the water. The sound was playing with their heads. "It's gotta be around here somewhere," said Alex. Mango found a creek which led them to the waterfall. A little alcove. Long, stringy-looking plants were being misted by the small yet powerful waterfall. Mango was in awe. She turned to Alex to tell him to pose near the waterfall. When she turned, Alex was on one knee. "Will you marry me, Mango?" asked Alex. Before she could answer, they could hear the scream of a man. Again, before she could answer, another scream. "Yes, yes," said Mango, ignoring the screams. Her smile was growing wider and wider. Alex slid the amethyst ring onto her finger. They kissed and enjoyed some time down by the creek. Mango may not have gotten to see the I.O., but she did get to be engaged. Love is better than fear in her book, any day. The sun began to set. "While I would love to watch the sunset with you, I think we should head back to the car," said Alex as he kissed Mango. They turned and the path was gone. The path had never been cemented or anything, but there was always a visible path, and now there was none. The surrounding area even changed. Tall, slender trees now caged them in. They were lost. No cell phone, no fire, no food, no water. Screams were coming at them from all sides. "Something's not right here," gulped Mango. Another scream, but louder. "Hey, is someone there?" screamed Alex. It may have seemed crazy, but he didn't want to spend the night in the desolate and unforgiving wilderness. Night soon fell. He stopped hearing the screams long ago and now heard the giggle of a woman. He got up and went down to the river. He stumbled his way through the dark and saw her. She was bathing in the river. She was naked as a jaybird and as thin as a toothpick. She had long, wild white hair and tangled deer antlers. Her back faced him. It was what Mango called the I.O. Mango would want to see this. Alex took out his camera and took a picture of her. The flash made the I.O. twist her neck to get a view of Alex. He took another and screamed. The I.O. had rather large eyes that were clear blue with one tiny black pupil in the middle. No white. She had a large mouth filled with human canine teeth. Blood stained her cheeks, lips, and teeth. The I.O. let out a howl of a dying wolf twisted with the hiss of a rather big cat. He took another photo of her as he backed up to where Mango was. Upon the flash lighting up the woods around her, he saw the jawless, screaming bodies of men in the trees around her. Her arm stretched and grabbed Alex's face. Long black claws ripped his jaw off. There was no suggestion, just carnage. The water was dyed red with Alex's blood. Mango woke the next morning. Alex was nowhere to be seen. She saw a note he had written in the mud. "Tomorrow we climb higher." He must be climbing higher. Mango began to climb. She was not sure how high he climbed or if he found help or not. After climbing a few feet, she stopped on a natural overlook. From there, she was able to see the river Alex had visited last night. She made it down to the river to scoop up some water to drink it. She hadn't had any water for the past 21 hours. Mango was a bit thirsty. Mango decided she would follow the river and have Natoma look for Alex if he didn't get out. I mean, Natoma knows these woods like the back of her hand. Or maybe he had the same idea as she did. As Mango walked, she prayed her heart out. Lo and behold, she found a camp. The camp looked abandoned and all torn up. She figured it'd be okay if she snagged some of the food for herself. She loaded up on a bunch of small snacks. That's when she saw Alex's blue coat. He must have been through here! But why did he leave his coat, though? It would drop to below freezing again tonight. Wouldn't it make more sense to leave a note or something else? Mango found a yellow backpack and unzipped it. In the pack were a bunch of maps for the trail. She unfolded one and dropped it like it was covered in poison. The name at the top said Mango and Alex. It had red markings of where they had been and an X by the river. Fear gripped Mango's stomach. What could the X mean? Hell, who was this person? How did they know where Mango and Alex had been? The marks began to flow on the path where Mango had been. The red markings made the words, "No way out." Mango gasped and fell to the forest floor. She rolled over and saw Alex's wallet among hundreds of other wallets. There was also Alex's camera. Mango shoved the camera and wallet into her pocket. She saw a pair of tangled deer antlers sticking out from behind a rock, and she took off. She could hear a dying wolf howl twisted with a big cat hiss following her. There was no way she was going to stop. She could hear her heart beating in her ears. The howling hiss noise died down, and Mango took refuge inside a little cave, shivering, alone, hungry, and a bit thirsty. Suddenly, she heard a rumbling noise that was not her stomach. It was a helicopter. Mango left the safety of her cave to try to fly down the helicopter. It flew over her and was eaten up by the sky. That was her only chance at being saved. Now, it was her against the wilderness and the I.O. She lost faith and hope in everything. That she was going to live, that she was going to get out alive, that Alex was okay. She was finally accepting her death. She said goodbye to her mother, father, and little sister the previous day. She had even said goodbye to her best friend and other friends. Mango even got to be engaged, even though it was during this. She got to be happy for at least one day. The next morning, she went to get some water by the river. Upon getting to the river, she made a chilling discovery. She had plunged her hands into the cool water and looked up to see Alex's jawless body, chest cavity completely eaten out. The cool water where her hands were in weren't in water, but in Alex's blood. She screamed. She turned to run back up the path, back to her cave. A flaming log fell in her way a few miles up. She was trapped. Mango ran back to the river and sat in the water, pulling Alex's corpse into her lap, cradling it and crying. Suddenly, through her tears and the crackling fire, she heard the sound of a helicopter. It landed near the log. 2 Choctaw men put the fire out, and Natoma sauntered over to Mango. Natoma took Mango into the helicopter. "Thank you so much, Natoma. Thank you," sobbed Mango as Natoma looked out the window. Mango watched as the men got into the helicopters. They had wolf skulls for heads. Mango's friend looked over at her. She had twisted antlers, large eyes that were a clear blue color and a small black pupil in each, a mouth full of human canine teeth. Mango's screams were intertwined with the dying wolf howl and big cat hiss. The national park is still open, but they say when you drive by the no-access parking, you can see Mango's ghost, warning people not to go into the woods. If you choose to ignore her, she won't stop you. Once you go onto the I.O.'s mountain, you're hers.